Alright, party people, this is going to be the next installment in this Intro to Neuro Anatomy series. Let's get into the anatomy of a neuron so that you can better understand what it is that we're talking about. So now we're going to get into the cell body. As you can see, this is going to be a collection of gray matter predominantly found on the surface of the brain. You can also have collections within the CNS. Those will be considered basal nuclei, which will then extend out via white matter tract. Now, in terms of white matter, when you see those leaving, those collections of gray matter known as a cell body, that is known as white matter or an exon. As you can see in the diagram, you're going to have collections of gray matter on the surface of the cortex of your brain. Deeper still, you'll have the basal nuclei as well as the radiations of white matter going both inferiorly and superiorly from those basal nuclei or from the cortex. To clarify, a nucleus is a small piece of gray matter surrounded by white matter, as shown by cranial nerve number 7 here, aka the facial nerve. When dividing the gray matter from the white matter, we're going to go into divisions of white matter tracts. So you will have ones which divide cephalically and caudally. Essentially, these are tracts that are ascending or descending, meaning going up or going down throughout your CNS. Next up, we have our commissural fibers. These are the ones which connect the right brain to the left brain. And when I say this, I want you thinking about the corpus callosum, which is the biggest connection between your right hemisphere and your left hemisphere. And finally, to wrap up this white matter division, we will have our association fibers. And this connects the front of your brain with the back of your brain, essentially the ones going anteriorly and posteriorly. When someone makes a reference to a nerve, what they are talking about is a collection of exons outside the CNS. That would be white matter, as opposed to white matter tracts, aka exons, is what is found inside your CNS. Now, in terms of reticular formation, this is part of the brainstem where sensory and motor tracts decusate, aka cross, going from left to right or right to left, depending on where they're coming from. There's a mix of white and gray matter. Within these crossings, there are large bundles of gray matter, and these are called nuclei. Next up, we're going to go into some details regarding pia, arachnoid, and dura matter. I want you to associate these coverings of the brain itself as pia matter being highly vascular, arachnoid matter being relatively avascular but has trabecula, and dura matter being strong, tough, and hard. Now, as you can see in the diagram, superficially, from the most superior aspect, we will have bone, your skull. Inferior to that, we will have our dura mater. You will have the periosteal layer of the dura mater, which essentially attaches to the bone superiorly. Then, beneath it, you will have the meningeal layer of the dura, which attaches inferiorly to the arachnoid matter. Now, technically, within the dura mater, you will have the meningeal artery as well as the meningeal vein. Beneath that, you will have your arachnoid matter, and within the arachnoid matter, you will have CSF. Now, CSF we'll cover in a separate video as to how that circulates and where it's created and drained. Beneath that arachnoid matter, we will have the pia matter basically resting on top of the brain itself. Now, it's important to note that the brain itself has no sensory pain receptors. So if ever there is anyone complaining of pain, brain pain, head pain, it cannot be from the brain, but it can be from dura mater, as the dura is very pain sensitive. Now, in correspondence to the superior aspect of the brain, we'll compare it with the inferior aspect of the spinal cord, where here in this image, you can see the denticulate ligaments, as well as the conus medullaris at the most inferior pole of the spinal cord, as well as the filum terminatum located at S2. All right, that's it for this video. Go crush it.